What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I promise not to disappoint you. Hit that like button, share the video, and make sure you leave a comment. We got a good one today. We're going to go down to that dirty, dirty South. We're going to go to a place where a 60-year-old man took his last breath. We're going to go to a place where his blood was left on the razor wire. A place where what happened to him is unimaginable. Something that you think probably doesn't happen in a prison system. We're going to go to one of the most dangerous and violent prison systems in the country, right? The Florida Department of Corrections. And we're going to talk about what shitting them down is. We're going to talk about blind spots. We're going to talk about, people that accidentally slip and fall down the stairs. We're going to talk about people that fell off their bunk and bumped their head. But more than anything, we're going to talk about these four cops. These four cops that may find themselves in the very same place that they once worked. They no longer work there. In February, they decided, you know what? We're going to team up and we're going to beat this 60-year-old man into oblivion. We're going to punish him for what we call shitting him down. At least in the feds, we call it shitting him down. Sometimes guys want to get revenge on cops, right? Sometimes you have cops that do dirty things to people. And sometimes you're locked in a cell and there's no way to get out. There's no way to get this person. But sometimes they might walk past your cell. They might not feed you. Or sometimes you might not get your mail and you get angry inside. Or sometimes they might walk by your cell and they call rec sign up and they walk down the alley. They're walking down the range. They pass by your cell and you're on the door like, hey, I signed up for rec. Didn't hear you. And you don't get any rec. Sometimes when you're in the shoe, that's all you got. All you have is that rec time, right? And then when these dudes do these things, and we've talked about some of this stuff before, like with Tommy Silverstein, you can read about it in the Hot House book. Sometimes guys want revenge when cops get nasty. Whether or not these four cops were nasty to this dude, I can't tell you. I can tell you that he had mental health problems. I can tell you that the cops are seen on video, and you can see it for yourself. They're walking this dude, and he can walk. They're going to transfer him. Next thing you know, they're kind of dragging him. And the last thing you know, he takes his last breath. His blood is left on the razor wire. So let's talk about it. 4 cops arrested, right? The arrest warrant tells us all we want to know. An arrest warrant reveals state agents built their murder case against 4 South Florida prison officers accused of fatally beating an inmate on testimony from co-workers. So the co-workers got at him, right? They got this blue wall of silence they used to talk about. But sometimes, at least now, things are changing. It's not always that way. People are tired of seeing prisoners abused. People are tired of seeing the living conditions that people are under, and there's a lot of work to be done. A lot of things need to be fixed. But we're going to talk about what needs to be fixed here, right? Maybe some of these co-workers are like, man, I don't approve of that, man. Maybe someone finally stepped up and said, man, you guys killed that old man. I don't like it. At least one confession and video evidence showing the mortally injured man unable to walk on his own. And you can see it. The officers repeatedly taunted the inmate, 60-year-old Ronald Gene Ingram, after he threw urine on one sergeant. So my boy said, you know what, man, I don't like what you did to me. I'm going to throw some urine on you. Shits him down. It's when people put this little concoction together in a cup, in a bowl, inside a shampoo bottle, whatever they can do to get you back. And, he hits the sergeant up. Sergeant's probably pissed off. And I can understand, because if someone threw piss on me, I'd probably be pissed too. I'd probably want to pound dude out, right? I don't know if it is worth killing him over, but I would definitely want to pound him out. The group kicked and stomped him out of view of a video surveillance cameras. That's when they take you to the blind spot, right? Every prison has one, whether you're in the SHU, whether you're in the housing unit, wherever you are, every prison has one. Next thing you know, you tumble down a couple flights of stairs, you're kicked, you're punched, you're handcuffed behind your back, can't block anything, can't, prevent your fall. And then you're over at the infirmary and they're like, what happened? You're in prison, you're serving life. So you tell them, oh man, I fell down the steps. Or you know what, I rolled off my bunk this morning and the cops found me this way. Did the police hit you? No, not at all. Most guys are going to go that route when you're serving a life sentence. Some people are going to be like, man, fuck that, they're cops, whatever. But most people are going to pretend, man, that, they just fell off their bunk. Because if not, the cops will taunt them again. They'll tell everybody, man, that dude told on me, he's a snitch. The group kicked and stomped him out of view of video surveillance cameras. And after Ingram was put into a prison transport van and found dead hours later, some of the officers leaned on others to keep quiet, the warrant said. Shh. Look, man, be easy. I know on February 22nd when these 4 cops found out, hey, man, we might be in the same brutal environment that we were just working in. This time we ain't going to be the guards. This time we're going to be the prisoners. So everybody has to shh. Because if you don't, guess what's going to happen? We're going to end up in prison. And one of the cops, Christopher Rowland, he's 29 years old, thinking, man, we're going to get over this. This is what they've been doing, right? It's just now starting to come out in the public. Now people are starting to get pissed off, right? Now people are upset. Now people are saying, oh, man, they got rights. You didn't see a lot of this until kind of around the Whitey Bulger murder at USP Hazleton in a federal prison, right? They said they can't see shit. They don't know shit. The officer, Christopher Rowland, 29, allegedly told another correctional officer, according to the warrant. Can't see shit out there. Ain't no camera, man. Took homeboy to the blind spot. Pounded him out. The warrant was unsealed Friday as a Miami-Dade judge ordered 3 of the officers be held in jail with no bond. And just the other day, we seen on national television, on the world news, where they arrest the 4th officer. Come here, buddy. Hands behind your back. You don't work at the Florida Department of Corrections no more. In fact, we're about to take you on down to the county. You want to talk to us first? Along with Rowland, Ronald Connor, 24, and Kirk Walton, 34, all made their first court appearances via closed-circuit TV from a Miami-Dade jail. The group is charged with second-degree murder. Your turn now. Ain't so much fun when the rabbit's got the gun, huh, buddy? When you handcuff a man behind his back and beat him until he's dead. Conspiracy, aggravated battery of an elderly adult, and cruel treatment of a detainee. A 4th officer, Jeremy Goldbolt, was arrested on Friday in Los Angeles and will be extradited to Miami to face the same charges. Was my boy in L.A. like, yo, I got to get low. Can't stick around, man. Them boys are after me. None of the correctional officers or guards who attended the Friday morning Zoom hearing in mask and wearing protective vests said much during a brief court appearance. What is there to say? What is there to say? It's your turn, man. It's your turn now. We're going to get into the Florida Department of Corrections in a minute. Attorneys representing Walton and Rowland didn't fight the charges. Connor, who said he was in the process of hiring a private attorney, was appointed a public defender. Glazer noted that the suspects would have to be separated and secured from the general jail population. Why? Why you got to put them in a separate place, man? Why? Throw them in there with the wolves, right? They didn't mind being wolves when they handcuffed that old man and beat him to death. Put them in with the wolves. Nah, they wouldn't do that. They're not going to do that, Chad. They're going to put them over here and protect them, but they're still going to eat that bullshit probably. Now, they're the ones making the phone calls. Hey, look, man, go to my bank account, take this out. I need some commissary. The food is horrible. I can't even eat it. And they're probably in their cell rubbing their head, thinking, damn, man. Damn. Murder? Conspiracy? Damn, man. And they know what they did. They know what they did. I know what you're going to say. Damn, Chad, man, they're innocent until proven guilty. Well, you know what? When it comes to that job and you're doing shit like that, they know what they did, man. I'm not convicting them. I'm just telling you, man. They got them on video, man. They got them telling other cops. Hey, man. They ain't see shit. These are serious charges, and many times what the state puts out there is not exactly what happened, said Rowland's defense attorney, Ed Martinez. Mr. Martinez, putting on his lawyer hat. You know what the story is. Look, man, we were transporting this dude. We didn't beat him over him throwing no piss on the sergeant. He started kicking us. He got wild and crazy. We had to restrain him. We had to use, necessary force. And guess what? He died. They got a story to tell. My client is innocent until proven guilty beyond and the exclusion of any reasonable doubt. You went ahead and threw in that exclusion, huh? Okay, Ed, do your thing, man. Represent your client. I hear you, big dog. State Attorney Catherine Fernandez-Rundle, Florida Corrections Secretary Ricky Dixon, and South Florida Special Agent in Charge Troy Walker detailed the arrest at a Friday press conference. Yep, Perp Walk, get up there, talk about how bad these dudes are, and, we don't stand for that here in the Florida Department of Corrections. You don't? Well, what about all the people running around stabbing each other, man? What about all the people being victimized in your prison system? What about the dudes that are being chained up with collars? What about the dudes that are being tied to beds and beat? All the stuff that we've seen on social media all over. Videos that are on YouTube. What's going on in Florida? Because the cops beat the dude up, now you want to step up and do a press conference? How about you do a press conference about fixing your own backyard? About stopping people from being brutalized, man. Hate that stuff, man. Stuff angers me inside. It's not a place you want to be, young man, young lady. You don't want to be there, right? Dade Correctional, located in a rural zone about 40 miles south of downtown Miami, has been one of the state's most problematic prisons. The Miami Herald detailed the facility's transitional care unit that houses mentally ill inmates, where inmates have complained about officers refusing to give them food or putting laxative and urine in their meals. Ingram was housed there before his death. Think these cops got on some rude shit? Let me tell you something, man. I've been in there. I've seen cops, man, that come from the street. These are street cops, man. And what I mean by that, these are probably dudes that are, man, I don't know, man. You know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. I've seen, cops in Pollock, man, talking to you like, I'm like, damn, man, he's the cop? Damn, he's the case manager? She's the case manager? I'll give you an example. I'm in USP Pollock. I'm in the shoe. I hear the case manager come down. Yo, Fat Matt, where you at? What cell you in? Someone says something disrespectful. She says, you keep that up, I'm going to have them open the cell and beat your ass. And I'm like, damn. Maybe the cops say stuff like that once in a while. But the female case manager, I was shocked. Appalled, maybe. I was just like, wow, man. So sometimes, man, you do got street dudes in there, man. And Florida is a place where cops are known to get money, right? You're down there, by Miami. Got a life you're living. I'm not saying he is or they are, but maybe the cat's bringing in them iPhones. What's that iPhone going for, man? Shh, man, you already know, man. $3,000, $2,500. You know what it is. What's that Cashapp? Boom. Send the Cashapp. Cop brings it in. It is what it is, man. But do you think these dudes were taunting this dude? Do you think maybe they put urine in his food? Do you think he lashed out at the sergeant because he said, man, I can't even eat my food, bro. Look what they're doing. I can't even eat my food. And the sergeant was like, yeah, all right. You got mental health prisoners in this place, man. People that are touched. And this dude was serving a sentence for murder. We'll get into it. He had life. He's been in there since the 80s, man. Dude probably had almost like 40 years in. And I bet you, man, he came to prison probably when he was, 25, 26, been in prison all them years. Never in his life, after all them years, did he expect that the cops were going to walk him down the steps, get him in the blind spot, and put the beats to him, man, like he was on the streets, man. Like he was on the streets of Miami, caught in a dark alley, man. Dark alley justice, man. That's what they call it sometimes. Here it is. It started early on February 14th as officers were preparing to transport a group of inmates to facilities upstate. Ingram was seen on surveillance camera, uninjured and walking fine. Man, it reminds me of that Freddie Gray thing, man. A man's walking fine. Next thing you know, not only is he not walking, but the man ain't even breathing. Ingram, who was serving a life prison sentence for murder, threw what appeared to be urine at Goldbolt, who ordered help to extract the man from his cell. 10-4, the man just hit me with piss. Can you get down here? We'll be right there, buddy. Get ready. We're going to catch a murder charge. We'll be there. Come on, man. Look, man, someone throws piss on you, I understand. You're not a happy camper, right? But you are a guard, man. You are working in a mental health institution, right? It's a prison, but there's mental health patients over here. This type of shit happens. Was it worth killing them over? I bet you when you're on that bunk scratching your head, you're like, damn, man. Wasn't me. I've seen Goldbolt do that shit. That's probably what's going to happen. Stay tuned. Ingram, who was serving a life prison sentence for murder, threw what appeared to be urine at Goldbolt, who ordered help to extract the man from his cell. Goldbolt slapped him multiple times and said, you should have never threw piss on me, the sergeant later admitted to agents. So Goldbolt got down there. He's a sergeant. What are you, 29 years old? He's the big shot. He's the boss. All right, boys. He calls for backup. Other officers joined in, even though Ingram was handcuffed and not fighting back, one witness said. Boys are hit, man. Loud thumps and bangs were heard throughout the hallway, the warrant said. And sometimes the cops will bounce you off the wall, man. Old school justice. You heard me talk about bouncing people off the wall before. As he crumpled to the ground, the officers continued to kick and stomp Ingram before he was finally raised to his feet and walked down a hall, where 3 officers continued to strike and taunt him. This your breakfast, Rowland allegedly told Ingram. Gave him a knuckle sandwich. Boom! Here you go. Hold that down. As the prisoner escort arrived to the main control building, one witness noticed blood streaming from Ingram's lip and a bruised left eye. Ingram appeared to have difficulty breathing, taking deep gas, the witness told agents. So these people show up in the prison bus. You've seen them all. Sometimes the white, sometimes the blue. Can't really see through the windows. Sometimes you could back in the day. You know, sometimes you might see a prisoner blowing a kiss at chicks. I've done it a few times on the transfer. Anyway, people drive down there, they're in the bus like, we're here to get your prisoners. And they walk my boy out, man, like, looked like he had a rough night. Looked like he was out on the town drinking. But that's not what happened. He's punch drunk. Been kicked in the face, stomped on, jumped on, punched. They go to put him in there. You know, other people are like, I'm going to tell you right now, man, I've seen people, man. I've seen staff members like, we ain't taking him. Another witness noticed Ingram's head was slumped downward, and he did not appear to be walking under his own power as he was escorted to the van. What do these cats think they're going to do, man? Do the swing? 1, 2, 3, throw him in the van, see you later? He's your problem now? Nope. People in that other van were like, I ain't going to jail for this shit. At the press conference, officials showed surveillance video depicting the handcuffed Ingram being escorted out of his cell, walking with no problems. Later, after the alleged beating, the video shows 2 officers holding up the man, his feet dragging on the ground. Ingram was no longer able to walk on his own. Fernandez-Rundle said, adding inmates should not be subject to forms of back alley justice. Back alley justice, we just talked about it, right? Back alley justice is when the cowboys get together and they beat your ass, man. You know, those of you that have been in federal prison, maybe we're going to do a story about the cowboys. Cowboys were known in Florence, going around just absolutely destroying people, man. Vicious, vicious dudes, man. And eventually, man, a bunch of them ended up in different prisons. I was with one of them one time in Tucson. He became the SIA. He was down there kicking people's asses, kicking people in the head. Became the SIA. Then I was in Raybrook with a couple other cowboys, man. They were from up there. They got relocated. The Federal Bureau of Prisons, man, they didn't fire them. They said, man, we're going to relocate you guys, man. We'll send you over to Raybrook, New York, man. You want your job? We'll talk about the cowboys. These boys right here, this is the wild, wild South, man. Ingram was placed in a partitioned area of the van away from other inmates. Ingram was discovered dead inside the transport van during a stop at the Florida Women's Reception Center in Ocala. They stop in Ocala and then people are like, man's dead. We ain't taking, we didn't do this. We didn't do this. I bet you those are the people that said, hey, talk to the investigators. The other cops, like, no, we had nothing to do with it. An autopsy revealed Ingram died of blunt force trauma. He suffered broken ribs and a punctured right lung that caused extensive internal bleeding. The medical examiner's office in Leesburg ruled the death was classified as a homicide. Multiple witnesses said the officer agreed to lie about what happened. The officers agreed to lie about what happened. They're cops. They would never do that. Yeah, okay. Rowland allegedly told one officer, don't worry about anything. They have to prove everything first, the warrant said. Rowland, when interviewed by agents, denied any use of force against Ingram, the warrant said. But other officers did speak to agents. And days after the death, Goldbook came forward to speak to the agents himself. He admitted slapping Ingram, but tried to shift the blame to others in the group. I'm the sergeant. I called him, gave him a couple slaps, and then they killed him. Wasn't me. I'm the sergeant. Wasn't me. It was, you know who it was. You know what they did. Saying they were the ones who stomped Ingram as he laid on the ground. Wow. So you're the sergeant. You call your boys. You guys been doing this shit for a long time. Just the people ain't died. So they ain't do no investigation. No one investigated you, man. They just let you go around cowboy style, the wild, wild South. Just do whatever you want. Right, sir? Treat people how you want to treat them. They're down there beating people up all the time, I guarantee it. And this time, it went a little too far. This time, it was an old man. And, you know, this is the thing that bothers me. That I don't like when the cops handcuff you, man, and beat you, man. You can't fight back. I mean, we're men. I hit you with piss. You want to fight me? You want to beat me up? Let's do it. Let's do it. Take off your belt. Take off your walkie-talkie. Let's go. You know, I got whatever my hand calls for. Win, lose, or draw. Let's get it. If that's what you want to do, let's get it. But no, not these cats. And these are some big dudes, man. The handcuffed dude, pound the shit out of him, and put him in the van. See you later. Well, now the rabbit's got the gun. It ain't no fun now, is it? It ain't no fun when You're sitting in the cell ordering commissary. It ain't no fun when the food tastes so bad you can't eat it. It ain't no fun when you got to get butt-ass naked, bend over and spread them things, huh? It ain't no fun no more, right? And you see, young man, that's what I want you to know. I want you to know that if you make the wrong choices, you could be in this type of environment, right? You could be a 24-year-old like this cat that ended up with a life sentence. He's probably 24, 25. But you could be that dude, because a lot of dudes out here are beefing now over chicks, man, over what you said, over drug territory, over some bullshit on Facebook. We see the whole MS-13 thing started because them kids were throwing up the gang sign or whatever. They lure them into the woods and brutalize them. And that old girl, she goes to trial. She's going to end up with probably life. The other cat's got 55 years old. You're 24 years old. You need to rethink, man. You need to reevaluate. Is this your life? Is this the life you want to live? You want to walk into this prison at 24 in there? You really want to spend 35 years of your life in that prison? And then one day they come down there and they say, oh, he tripped and fell. We don't know what happened. You don't want to be that dude, man. With respect, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.